I'm going to show you how to render some bacon fat. For the people who don't want to watch the whole video, the steps goes as follows. 1. Cook the bacon. 2. Strain the grease into a container. 3. Let it cool and it should be good for about 3 to 6 months in the refrigerator. This is not rocket science, but I am going to explain this in further in depth to show you some tricks to make this as easy as possible. Let's start with the bacon. I prefer Wisconsin bacon because it tends to be of a higher quality. I also like thicker cut bacon because it will have more fat. I found this bacon on sale, um, and it's not from Wisconsin, so it is a bit of a lower quality. Really, get whatever you want, but if you have a thinner bacon, you're going to want to have more packages. Typically, I do 2 packets, and it gives me enough fat to last me about 2 months. I have this old Lodge cast iron pan. I have other pans, but I like to use this one because it has this little edge that lets me pour out the grease, and it has handles on the side so I can grab both sides when doing so. Basically, you just cook the bacon however you prefer to cook your bacon, but once you're done, you want to let the grease cool for about 5 minutes and then you can pour it out. Now, for a container. I bought this off Amazon for dirt cheap. You really don't need to spend good money on one. In fact, you could use a mason jar or a paper cup, although I wouldn't recommend it. What I was looking for is something metal, so I don't need to worry about pouring very hot bacon grease into glass. I also wanted something that I could throw into my dishwasher. I was also looking for something that had a metal strainer to fit with this container so I didn't have to hold it. And I also wanted something vaguely aesthetically pleasing. And finally, for strainers, I have this metal strainer that came with the kit, and I have this cheesecloth. This cheesecloth gets nasty, so make sure you wash it by hand in the sink with regular dish soap because dish soap is a degreaser. You want both of them. So the metal strainer will get the big chunks, and the cheesecloth will get all the small stuff. The reason why we want to get the really small stuff is that the cleaner we get this grease, the longer it's going to store in your refrigerator. It's the little bits of meat that actually make this go rancid. Um, this grease will store for about 48 hours sitting on the counter, 3 to 6 months sitting in the refrigerator, or 12 months if you freeze it. And I have seen people put grease into ice trays and freeze them for easy portion control. Um, I just go through this grease too much to even bother. I use bacon grease for basically everything that you need to put oil down on the pan. It can be used as an ingredient for many recipes, and I'm going to be trying a bunch of them out on this channel. Now, I am going to start talking about a cost breakdown where I can. I live alone, and I generally cook about 4 times a week. Compared to olive oil, this is cheaper if you calculate that I'm throwing out the bacon itself. Typically, I spend about $100 a year on olive oil because I buy it in a big container and I go through 2 jugs a year. As for bacon, if I spend about $10 on bacon every 2 months, that's $60 a year. So the savings aren't massive. That being said, I am eating the bacon, and that has a decent amount of calories and protein, so I'm saving money on that front. But at the end of the day, it's still more expensive than buying vegetable oil in bulk because that's like $10 a gallon. Regardless, saving my bacon fat has definitely been one of the best decisions I've done. 10 out of 10. Better than leaving it in my landlord's pipes.